I think philanthropy overall for me in a very broad sense is giving, but it's not just giving of money or finances. I think it's a lot about also giving of yourself, the competences and skills that you can bring to something. It's of giving your own time. It's of giving thought. So it's a very broad definition in a way of giving, and I sometimes think that we kind of correlate philanthropy with just giving money, but to me it's more than that. I think most of us are aware of the causes or the needs that exist and where we would like to give. But there's a certain amount of lethargy or whatever that creeps in, and where we say we want to give, but we don't really start. And I think the best way to really start is to follow through on whatever we have observed and where we would like to give to. And I think there's a huge lot of people out there that one can speak to who have experience in giving to those sectors, or actually organizations that are doing great work in those areas. I personally do a lot of research. I actually look at the organization, make site visits, talk to people who have either given to that organization, talk to the leadership within that organization. And when I say site visits, I think it's very important to just make a couple of visits, not only to the office to talk to the leadership or to talk to people there, but also to just make surprise visits to actually the areas where they are working, and to understand and talk to the beneficiaries who have been impacted by their program. At least that's the path that I normally follow before we begin any new giving. Some of the key lessons I've learned are, one is one really should measure impact, and one should evaluate the impact of one's giving. And so one of the things that we do is every year from our foundation, we look at one or two of the organizations that we've given to, say 3 years ago or 4 years ago. We ask them 2 or 3 very simple questions to try and understand what has been the power of our giving, or what has our giving done differently for that organization. So in a way, according to me, it's very important to measure and evaluate the impact of your giving, and where your money, or even your 1,000 rupees or your 50,000 rupees could have a better impact if it was given to X organization or to X project. The second point is that I think it's very important to spot good smaller and medium-sized organizations and their leaders. There are many attributes that these leaders have, which one only understands or knows over the years, and we have been able to fortunately have very effective and impactful partnerships with smaller organizations as well, who are doing amazing work. And with very small amounts of money, one has been able to partner with them along their journey, and after a period of 3, 5, 7 years, really see the power of the collaboration with these smaller and medium-sized organizations. So I think it's not always necessary to give to only very, very large, very established names. We can look for leaders who have a wonderful idea or a great project and back them with even small amounts of money. Another important lesson is to actually work with an organization to understand what are their needs. For example, in their IT systems, will that help them to scale? Will that help them with their sustainability? What about their second line leadership? What sort of training and capacity building do those second line managers need? And how can we support those needs of organizations rather than just programmatic needs? I think in India we spend too much time on thinking and party conversations around philanthropy. I think one needs to step up and do something. And once you step up and actually even take those first baby steps, you get very involved. And I think that's the key advice I would give. Also talking to people in this field, those who have been working in organizations, those who have been grant makers, are more than willing to speak about their journeys and their thoughts on this. So I've always found it extremely, it's helped me a lot to talk to people who either are in organizations who are doing amazing work, or to talk to philanthropists. What is good to know is that more and more philanthropists are actually coming forward and talking about their journeys, talking about how they give, why they started giving. I don't think it's important to talk about how much you give, but it's really important to get the message out there that it's important to give, and only if philanthropists talk about their journeys will others be inspired to give more and to begin their own journeys.